We're going to be making gingerbread cookies. These ones are nice and soft. They're not maybe like some of your other typical ones. You can kind of see. Beautiful. And a gingerbread man is kind of like just a spiced sugar cookie. And so we made sugar cookies in the last video. And so we're going to be reusing this bowl because it doesn't have any flavors that are crossing over, like no other ingredients. So it's totally fine to reuse it. Plus it saves you on dishes. So if you enjoy doing a lot of cookies, this is the way to go. Try and layer those recipes. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our wet ingredients. We're going to be using salted butter. So I let mine sit out overnight. That way it's nice and soft, ready to go. Okay. And then, so I've got my butter and my duck eggs, and then I'm going to be adding molasses. Our recipe also calls for honey, adds a little extra sweetener. And the honey helps it make it chewier. I'm going to add my vanilla, and then we'll go ahead and mix this up. Okay, so I'm going to add my brown sugar to the mix already. If you want to do that right away, you totally can. It doesn't make too much of a difference. Okay, so now that that's all mixed up, we're going to add our dry ingredients to it. So we'll be using the rice flour for this one as well. Okay, so then we've got cinnamon, and we'll have ginger in this recipe. And then we'll use sea salt and then baking soda. And if you've seen in some of the other videos for the baking soda, we want to make sure that we don't have any little chunks left in there. And so we'll put it through a little like strainer. So now that everything's in there, I'm going to go give it a quick mix. And then once it's mixed, you might notice that it still looks a little wet and sticky. Like if you touch it, it's like, can I really roll that out yet? I would not. It's going to be a mess. And so what you want to do is let it sit out on the counter for about an hour. That way it allows the flour to absorb more and it thicken up to a better dough consistency, which then we can roll out. So now that it's mixed, I'm actually going to go ahead and roll it and kind of like shape a dough a little bit. It still will be sticky and kind of wet, but it'll firm up as it sits. So I'm already shaping it for when it is ready to roll out. It just makes it easier later on. So I'm going to let this sit on the counter at room temperature for about 30 minutes. That way the butter has a chance to absorb. Otherwise, if you put it straight in the fridge, it's going to harden quicker. And then after those 30 minutes, we'll move it to the fridge. It'll firm up a little bit. It shouldn't be as soft. And then you'll be ready to roll it out. All right, so now we're going to be rolling out our gingerbread dough. We made this one yesterday, let it sit overnight in the fridge, and then took it out so that it would come to about room temperature and it's softer to work with. This is all floured. We can start rolling that out. I am going to grab the parchment and then we'll try it this way and we can compare. For this one, we do want that 1/4 inch for thickness. Kind of test if it's sticking to the cutting board or not. If you want to put some extra flour under there, you can do that. When I'm rolling out, I like to kind of run my hand over it and see how even it is. That way, if I'm finding, oh, I'm leaning to one side, putting extra pressure, I can even it out. A little trick I do when measuring my dough trying to like find out if I'm at the thickness that I want, is if you use your like top or like middle part of your finger kind of bent over, that'll be about an inch. So half inch, quarter inch, you got kind of get a general idea for how thick it is. Okay. This looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing my gingerbread. A little trick is, since we do the parchment, sometimes the cookie cutter can stick, but if you rub it in the flour, it'll help the edges come off more clean. And the gingerbread, they spread a little bit more than sugar cookies do, and so you might want to leave a little more room. So for example, this pan, we're only going to put 6 on, opposed to the sugar cookies, we could probably fit about 8 or 9. And then these ones we're going to pop in the freezer as well for about 30 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and bake those.
The freezing part is super important, and you're going to bake them straight from frozen for about 12 minutes at 350 degrees. Our sound got a little funky in this last video for some reason, but these are our finished gingerbread men. They are nice and fluffy. They will fall down as they cool, and then we just frost them with royal icing, or you can leave them plain, but these are really delicious, and I hope you enjoy making them.